Hey everybody, and welcome to Weight Loss Wednesday. I'm Chef AJ, the creator of the Ultimate Weight Loss Program, and this is where I show you recipes that will help you achieve healthy, permanent, and sustainable weight loss. Today, I'm going to show you my favorite food in the whole world. It's probably the best thing I've ever eaten, and I'm going to show you my favorite way to prepare it. These are the Okinawan sweet potatoes. And you get them from a wonderful company in Hawaii called Hawaii Veggie Farms. Now, you could try to get them somewhere else, but you're probably not gonna be able to find them. Now, I was lucky enough when I lived in Los Angeles to live next door to a store called Farm Boy, a mom and pop produce store on Hazeltine next to Trader Joe's, where I lived for probably 25 years, and they could get them for me, but most people on the mainland will not be able to find them. So you can mail order them through this wonderful company. I'm gonna put a link in the show notes and give you a 10% discount code. If you were familiar with my television show from a couple of years ago called Healthy Living with Chef AJ, I showed you these on episode 107. That show aired on Foodie TV originally, but you can find all 13 episodes on YouTube now. These come in different sizes. They have the little tiny ones, the fingerlings, and then the larger ones. I have a variety right here, and they are, I guess you would call this beige or off-white on the outside, but they are purple on the inside, this very dark, beautiful purple color. The longest lived people in the world, the Okinawans in Japan, eat something like 72% of their calories from these sweet potatoes. And to me, anybody following keto or paleo or a raw food diet and doesn't get to eat starch, to me that would be just so sad. I can't imagine a life without sweet potatoes. And if you're somebody that's struggling with food addiction or trying to give up sugar and flour, this will take the place of cake. These are the most delicious, hands down, sweet potatoes you'll ever eat. They really taste like eating cake. I mean, I can't believe they're legal and they're actually gonna make you healthy and slim if you choose to eat them. So basically what I do is I put them on a baking sheet, and I'm using a Silpat, a nonstick silicone baking pad, because it just makes cleanup easier. Not that these will ooze tremendously the way that the orange sweet potatoes do, but it just makes everything easier to clean up. I actually have one Silpat, believe it or not, that I've had for 30 years. You can use them over and over. They're oven safe till 450 degrees, or you can get a knockoff brand at a place like Costco or Bed Bath & Beyond if you don't want to get the original Silpat. Sure, you could use parchment paper, but it's a little bit wasteful to the environment to have to keep using it. Silpats or any nonstick silicone mat is great. So you put as many as you can fit on. Now, what I do is I don't poke these. I learned this cooking method from my friends Nick and Kristen, who introduced me to these about 5 years ago and completely changed my life. If I was going to be deserted on a desert island and I could only take one food with me, it would not just be sweet potatoes, it would be this type of sweet potatoes. And they told me their preferred cooking method. And when I looked it up, it was one of the preferred. Now, certainly, there's many ways to cook a potato or a sweet potato. You can microwave it, which is probably the least delicious way. You could steam them in an Instant Pot pressure cooker. You can boil them. You could bake them. But really, if you really want to bring out all the sweetness of your food, your sweet potatoes, your vegetables, roasting, slow roasting is the best way. So we are going to cook these at 250 degrees for 2.5 hours. Yes, you heard me right. And that's why the Breville is so great, because I don't have to set a timer. It just like does everything. So I don't poke them. What I do is I just cut the little tip off the end, and that's all I do. Now this one, the reason I cut it so big is because I wanted you to see what color they are. So I'm going to put this in my preheated 250 degree oven for 2.5 hours, and I'm going to come back and show you what they look like when they're done. Now, a lot of people write me and say, well, how do you eat your sweet potatoes? Well, with my mouth, because sweet potatoes, especially these, they don't need any embellishment. They're so delicious. Now, we can make recipes with them, and perhaps in a future episode, I can show you how I make puddings and parfaits, and yes, even ice cream with them, but I'm telling you, this will be a game changer. So I'll see you in a little bit, and I'll show you what they look like. So it's been 2.5 hours at 250, and look, you can see how soft they are, nice and squishy. Oh, really, really hot. So, you know, it's always a good idea, whatever you're cooking or baking, calibrate your oven. Even if it's brand new, get a $10 oven thermometer from a hardware store, just so that you know if your 250 is really 250. If in 2.5 hours at 250 they're not ready in your oven, either raise the temperature maybe 25 degrees to 275, or leave them in for another half hour longer. Usually what I do is just leave them in the oven after it turns off, and then I eat them when I'm ready. The hard part is waiting the 2.5 hours until they cook, so make sure that you have some already cooked before you eat the last one. So let me cut into one so you can see how beautiful they are on the inside. Oh, look at that. That is the prettiest. All those, what do they call them? Anthocyanins or whatever. Really, really high nutrient food. If you're lucky enough to live anywhere in Hawaii, you can find these at the regular grocery store, Costco, healthy food stores. When I had the privilege to speak on a couple of different islands, they had these everywhere. Unless you live somewhere near an ethnic market that carries them, if you want to try these, really a delicacy, you have to go to hawaiivegiefarm.com. I'll put a link in the show notes. And if you use my code, ChefAJ10, no spaces, you'll get 10% off for trying. So let's see how they taste. Oh, hot. Always blow. If this isn't the best thing you ever ate, then you don't know potatoes. Thanks so much for watching another episode of Weight Loss Wednesday. I'm Chef AJ, and I make healthy taste delicious so that you can have both the health and the body that you so richly deserve. Bye now.